Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/OhNoConsequences. As per usual, I'll be reading you the post, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it.
We have an OhNoConsequences Best of Hybrid here by KEYZ. The original OP is Individual Diamond 606, and the saga begins December 9th, 2021. The original title has been somewhat lost to time, but the Best of collection is titled OP's Mother Tries to Force a Reconciliation Between OP, her sister, and OP's Obsessed Ex. But it backfires. Background: I started dating my brother's best friend when I was 16. We were together until I graduated high school when he proposed, and I rejected it. There was a lot of drama, with my family asking me to reconsider because we could have a long engagement, or make a promise to reconcile. My relationship with my brother, 36, suffered for a while, but the one with my sister, 32, never recovered. She was sure my ex was the best fit for me and became unbearable when she started dating my ex's brother. My ex was invited everywhere by my siblings, even to some family holidays, but I didn't say anything since he was their friend too. That is, until my sister started to push for us to get back together. My sister did everything, from trying to get us on blind dates to making us share a room during holidays. No matter the occasion, my ex was invited to it. After a while, I had enough and asked my parents to intervene. They were clear with my siblings and stopped inviting my ex to things or allowing him to tag along so much. It was slightly better, but while my brother backed off, my sister didn't. It all came to a crash when I met my husband during a semester abroad. He was from another university, but the same country, and we just clicked. It was magical for me, and we got engaged after dating for a year. My family was very happy for me. Except my sister. She kept insisting I was in the honeymoon phase and will grow out of it. I clearly didn't, and after many, can't express enough how many fights and attempts to reunite me with my ex, I simply let her know if she pulled anything again, I will stop talking to her. What does she do after that warning? Makes me her maid of honor and requests I spend all my time with the bridal party, aka my ex, and sets one of her friends as my husband's date. We didn't realize until we were at the reception and the poor girl tried to make a pass at my husband. My sister said that since we're not married, it was okay to explore things with other people. I left the party and the next day spoke with my parents and brother and explained that while I won't make them choose, I will not talk to my sister ever again. And if they try to fix stuff between us, I will simply cut contact with them too. My mom was devastated and tried to negotiate, but my dad and brother said they would respect my decision, and apart from 2 attempts from my mom, I haven't spoken, written, or anything with my sister in the past 6 years. My sister has tried everything to reconcile with me, from gifts to tantrums, but I simply don't talk to her at all. If we were at a family event or dinner, I simply act like she doesn't exist. At first, she made snarky comments or tried to create drama, but since nobody backed her up, she gave up. She did have a meltdown when she was informed she was invited to my wedding, but would not be a part of any preparation. My brother says he feels guilty for going along with it for so long, and his relationship with my ex has suffered since my ex. They still talk, but they're not as close anymore. Now time for the issue. My mom's birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I finally announced we were expecting our first child. This is not the first grandchild, but is the first granddaughter. Everybody was very happy, except my sister. My mom noted that and asked me for tea the other day. The sixth sense told me not to go, but I wanted to be positive. The first thing I noticed when I arrived was my sister's car. Then, as I entered the door, there was my sister, her husband, my ex, and my ex-mother-in-law. They wanted to have an intervention since my childish tactic has gone for so long. My ex said that he was just trying to be romantic, but he understands I couldn't appreciate it. His mom said I was just hurting my sister for wanting the best for me, and she apologized already, so I need to forgive her. I was just sending texts to my family, dad, brother, husband, and looking at my mom in disbelief. My brother-in-law had the balls to tell me I was a hurtful person and I needed to learn how to act like an adult since I'm having a baby now. Then my mom began reading a letter about how hurt she was her daughters weren't close, how my sister was wrong but she was well-intended, etc. Then my sister read her letter and began crying and telling me basically another version of what the rest did. I said nothing to anybody, just sat there until my brother arrived. He was angry beyond anything I've ever seen before. He grabbed my stuff and told them all he was really disappointed and disgusted. We went outside and sat in his car until my dad and husband arrived. By then, I was just sobbing, and he kept saying sorry. I am unsure what happened in there, but I sent everybody, except Mom, an email with my lawyer's number and info attached and stated, I don't wish to be contacted by any of them ever again, and if they do, I will go to the police. Nobody has contacted me, but I know from my dad, my mom and sister are hysterical. They told him they hope to repair things, and for my sister to be able to be in my baby's life, maybe possibly being a godmother. My dad is staying with my brother at the moment. They support me, but some others in my family don't. I've even had mutual friends call me since they're worried about my sister's well-being and asking me what happened, since she's now going by the narrative my husband is keeping me away from my family. I hate having my business in public, but I did go the public route and posted a long Facebook post about everything that happened. Sister, brother-in-law, and ex are being dragged, which, even if it wasn't 100% intended, I feel is deserved. Now my mom has been inconsolable, which does make me feel bad, but not as bad as she made me feel with her little intervention. I agreed to have a talk with her a couple of days ago and laid the ground rules for any possible future interaction, including therapy, family therapy, clear boundaries, no sharing information about me with my sister, and separate holidays. Most important, if she ever pulls anything like this again, she will be cut off. She feels this is too much, but is willing to do it. She thought it meant immediate access to baby news, and it was all solved, but I told her it is a process, and she needs to prove she has improved. My dad and brother refuse to talk to my sister, and they keep apologizing for not stopping it earlier. We've forgiven them since they were able to move on and grow. My husband supports whatever I decide, but my mother-in-law is unsure cutting my mom's access to her granddaughter is the way to go, but says it's ultimately my decision. I'm torn about what to do with my mom. Too long didn't read, haven't talked to my sister in 6 years because of her obsession with me and my ex. My mom organized an intervention on her behalf so we could reconcile, and now I'm unsure if I even want my mom in my life anymore. The edit I wanted to post but couldn't. I want to thank you for the amount of support and advice so far. I want to give a little more info that is in my comments since there are too many for me to answer them all individually. My ex and I broke up when I was 18. He is 37 now. The reason for our breakup was that I didn't want to get married or engaged. My sister's insistence comes from the fixation of wanting the both of us to marry brothers and being best friends. My mom has always been so nice to my husband, but I'm beginning to think it was all a facade, which makes me very sad. My ex has been with people since the breakup. He also has 2 kids with an ex, but he's never been married. My sister says that is a very romantic thing to do since he's only ever wanted to marry me. I should also mention his obsessive behavior is not only with me. I know from the grapevine he was very similar with the mother of his children, but now he's refocusing on me because my sister is encouraging it since she needs his help on getting back in my good graces so she can be a good aunt. My brother did start to cut him off when I told my parents I was very uncomfortable with my ex around all the time. I was living away for college but would visit my family during breaks. He also made a very big effort to make my husband feel welcome, which deteriorated his relationship with my ex even more because he felt betrayed by my brother. Nowadays, my husband is one of my brother's closest friends, and he only speaks with my ex when it's about our nephew, sister's son, or to not be rude. Both my parents seemed to be supportive of me not wanting to be around my ex so much, but I guess only my dad was in agreement. On the day of the tea party, my mom told him she was making me my favorite tea and sweets, but he couldn't stay since we would have quality time together. My dad left to go hang out with my uncle since he thought it was a nice sentiment from my mom. He's very pissed off. My husband tried very hard with my sister when they met, but now he just ignores her and believes she's mentally unwell. We don't know if she is or not. Still, there is no excuse for how she behaves. They invited the ex and his mom because they thought it would be good for me to face the root of my issues with my sister, or at least is their official version. Also, we're not Indian, not really religious. My husband and I are from the same race. There is also no wealth disparity between my ex and my husband. If there is, it would be in favor to my husband. Lastly, my sister-in-laws, both my brother's wife and husband's sisters, are enraged about the situation. My husband and his sisters will be talking with their mom about her comment. My brother and his wife are considering going no contact with my mom permanently. In the meanwhile, they will not allow her to see my nephews for a bit. The more I read, the more I think I might have to go no contact with my mom for the sake of my kid. My husband is heartbroken to think all their interactions were faked, but says he's even more enraged she made me cry and doubt I was a good person. I realize there are still countless conversations to have with my family about my mom, but I will definitely be going for a restraining order against my sister and the ex. Now time for the proper semi-update. The state of my family so far. I had a conversation with my mother, but she insists she knew best. I'm a bad person, and she'll be getting grandparents' rights or even custody. I am nothing what she says, but I still panicked, so we sent her a letter about it. My dad moved out definitely. He told her that he could not sign on her terrorizing his kid. My brother and his wife also decided to go no contact. I know it seems very sudden, but I think I undersold the level of despair I had after the intervention. My husband told them afterward they had to think very well about what they appreciated and to be kind and receptive to everything, but would not raise a kid on a toxic environment. Reason 3,271,673. Why I love my husband. My husband is very heartbroken about my mom and her fakeness. He says she will never get anything from him. That is as much as revenge goes here. My husband and sisters talked to my mother-in-law about her comment and made her understand why it was very out of it. As many of you assumed, she is a very loving mom from a loving family. My dad and brother keep apologizing for any role they played in this. My dad can't believe it went to this point. He says it is still surreal for him. Regardless, they support me no matter what, and say they're willing to help me fight whatever ridiculous fight my mom or sister put. Update 2, December 17th, 2021. Final update. Or, I hope it is. I want to thank the lovely messages and encouraging words. I decided to post it here so it wouldn't be deleted like the original was. Things are great and horrible at the same time, but I am trying to remain positive about everything. My brother and his wife sat my nephews down and explained that Grandma was ill and tried to hurt Auntie Diamond and the little cousin. They explained Grandma would not be part of their lives anymore, but that doesn't mean she doesn't love them. It was really hard, but the kids are smart. They were also told other aunt is no longer in their life, but they don't care because they dislike her. Not because of me alone, simply because she's not exactly great with them either. My mom lost it when she was informed and started claiming she had rights and she will get to see her grandchildren. My dad is looking for a permanent place but will stay with us until January, mainly due to my brother's mother-in-law coming to visit and us having the space. He's really sad, has called divorce lawyers already, moved bank stuff, etc. He's been getting countless emails, messages, and calls from my mom, but he doesn't reply to anything. The lawyer told him to not block her right now. He considered maybe forgiving her, but... I got a huge spike in my blood pressure a couple days after my last post here because she decided to come to my place with my sister. My sister had never been to my home. My mom knew I didn't want her there, but I guess that doesn't matter anymore. The cleaning lady let them in because she knows my mom, and I haven't had the time to inform her she was not allowed to come in anymore. I was just coming from some errands, and I saw the car. This time, I didn't get in. I called all of my relatives, and my sister-in-law, husband's sister, was the one closer to me. She confronted them and told them either they leave or I call the police on them for trespassing. They left, and I started feeling bad. We went to the doctor, and they told me all of the excitement was not good, and I needed to start relaxing or it would hurt the baby. My dad went home with my brother, uncle, and my husband and took every single thing he could think of. My husband says my sister was there too, and she kept screaming at him that he destroyed her family. My dad told my mom and sister they almost killed the baby, and he doesn't want to talk to any of them again. My sister kept sending messages to my brother, begging for help, but it's not happening. I'm devastated and very sad for my nephew since he's losing so much of his family because his mother has some wacky ideas, but it is what it is. As per the custody and grandparent rights my mom wants to throw around so much, my lawyer sent her a letter stating she caused harm to my health and the baby, and if she keeps harassing me, it'll become an official legal matter. My brother also sent her a letter using her harassment of me. Both mom and sister have refused to go to therapy. They might be mentally ill, but with all this coming to light, it's obvious they've been in agreement for a long time. I will focus on spending the holidays with my family, being healthy, and going to therapy. Update 3, March 31st, 2022. Hi, I've received some requests for an update and had a little time, so decided it could be a good fit. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your comments, messages, and, well, every advice, because I feel we owe you for being even more paranoid than we were being. A couple people asked me what method we used to get to know the gender of the baby. I announced it after 20 weeks. The reason for waiting so long is we have experienced a loss in the past, which we were preparing to announce when it happened, and we wanted to be sure and have a safe feeling about the announcement. Also, we were naive enough to think it would be special for my mom. And you were right. After posting, I handed it to my husband, and he read your messages, comments, and advice for some days. He swiped the house and thankfully found nothing but felt extremely unsafe, so we went to a hotel with my dad. But then we realized there was a tracker on my fur baby's vest. He's a very small dog and gets cold a lot, so he has a funny vest. Never in a million years would I have thought of looking there, but we discovered the tracker when my dad walked him around the hotel area, and my sister came and asked him about me and reconciliation. I was really upset, so we decided to move. Thankfully, we can afford it. We're renting at the moment, and also renting out our place, so it's not just empty. I used to love that house, but now I feel it's ruined and tainted somehow. Sadly, my parents' house feels the same, and not only for me. We all, brother, husband, dad, sister-in-law, and even my husband's family, changed our numbers, got new electronics, and notified employers, friends, and police. We also started therapy and family therapy. My dad and brother feel extremely guilty over the situation, even if I have truly forgiven them, but we are healing as a unit. My sister and mom insist they're not wrong and they don't need therapy. My dad made a new will in which my sister's son gets a trust fund and some inheritance, but my sister gets a token amount. He is truly done with her. I was feeling bad for her, but I decided to focus my energy on my baby. She is here, and we are blessed. It's not the experience I thought of since my mom is not around me anymore, but so many friends and family members have truly surprised us. By the end, we were so paranoid, we started testing some people we were unsure of, telling them I was going into labor. It worked like a charm. We discovered who was still feeding info to my mom and sister and cut them out. The rest understood when we explained the reasoning. My ex, whom my friends now call Bates, went around saying the baby was his cause we've been having a torrid affair due to my undying love for him. Nobody believes him anymore, but it made my husband contact Bates' employer and tell him about all the craziness. Long story short, he was put on a suspension pending internal review. I'm almost positive he'll be fired since they've asked us for more and more info, and they seem really apologetic. And that one probably shouldn't have done a long story short because I really do want to know how a conflict like this that's so personal could cause someone to be potentially removed from their job. It is definitely quite the leap there. My mom has tried to find us, but all the people that know of our location have gotten no contact with her. My dad's lawyer sent her a letter stating that due to her instability, all correspondence will be through lawyers now. It's been us and my dad because I felt so bad for him being alone. He's promised he'll be fine and nothing is my fault, but I still feel awful. He's been the best babysitter, feeder, diaper changer in the universe. My nephews are loving as always, and my dad even got a visit with my sister's son. It came about because she kept making videos threatening to hurt herself if my husband didn't stop alienating her family, so my dad emailed her about seeing her son and told her he would call the police about her threats, so that seems to have stopped it. Lastly, someone brought up I gave Bates false hope. It can't be further from the truth. I spent years uncomfortable because I thought he would move on. Then, after I spoke up and then met my husband, I spent such a long time fighting my sister about it. I had a very long engagement, which is why I married after my sister. I still love my mom and sister, but I chose a healthy life for me and my family over that love. I have discovered a lot of loyalty, love, and compassion through this whole thing. As strange as it may seem, I feel lucky it all exploded. Hopefully it's not much of a ramble. Big hugs from me. Update 4, June 25th, 2022. Hi Reddit. Too long didn't read. I'm happy to report we're alive, well in a new house, and the baby is thriving. And Bates was fired. Long version. We officially moved into a new house, with my dad moving into the guest house. We had many discussions both in and outside therapy, and we decided that while it would be good for him to be with us, we still need our space. We're still renting out the old place, and we'll be deciding what to do later. My dad has the grandchildren all together about 3 times a week now. He still has to see my sister's kids separately since she refused to let him take the kid unless she knew where he lived. Which, to be fair, is a normal thing, but considering she's crazy, we don't want her close. My mom complained to the lawyers about how unfair it is my dad still gets to see all grandchildren, but there's nothing she can do about it. About a month ago, my dad told me he had a confession, and my stomach started hurting. Dear reader, he pays for my nephew's sister's kids' schooling and babysitting, which is why she still allows him to see him. He felt so guilty for hiding it and didn't want to keep secrets. I assured him it was nothing wrong, and to please don't feel bad. On Mother's Day, my dad got an email with a link to an Instagram account in which they made a sad video about my mom and how most of her family has abandoned her, and how much of a saint my sister is for being there for her. It was really pathetic and enraged me, but I just sent it to the lawyer. Dad officially filed for divorce in May, and the process is still ongoing. My mom insists he's wrong, but my dad said he'd rather drink bleach than go back to her, so I think that is final. My brother and husband took my dad out for Father's Day and had a blast. My sister posted many things that day, but they managed to block my dad from even learning about it because we wanted him to enjoy it. They also did a camping trip with the kids, aka went to a hotel, got a suite, and put a tent in the middle area for the kids, and a little teepee for the baby. Honestly, having baby is one of the best things that has happened to me, and seeing my husband being the amazing father I knew he would be makes me so happy. It is tiring, but we have so much support I feel grateful beyond anything, because I have my rocks on my side. My sister-in-law and I now get to have a little calendar on sharing things. All the kids get to do things that are age-appropriate and if they want to. We want to let them all know they do not need to hang out with people they dislike, and their voices matter. Right now, they are all obsessed with baby and say that they are her protectors. And we get little get-togethers, brunch, etc. Honestly, having family time is now a pleasure and not a headache without my sister there. I know it's wrong to say, but she just sucks the positivity out of the room. My mother-in-law also loves having time with baby and stays in the guest room about once a week. She asked politely and said she didn't want to take baby for sleepovers or anything. I feel respected and heard by her, and yes, have broken down sometimes because I miss my mom a lot. I miss the mom I had or thought I had. Not the one that told me I would be a terrible mother or was a hateful woman. My therapist says it's a marathon and to focus in the good. Speaking about good, Bates was terminated. Not only that, but his reputation in his industry was not only damaged, but nuclear level damaged. So is his brother's, but because brother-in-law is not in an industry that cares so much about reputation, he still has his job as far as I know. Bates sent me a 12-page double-sided seamed single-spaced letter about how hurt he is I'm denying him what's his, and my husband is so threatened by him and he had to go and destroy him professionally because he would not be able to destroy anything else. I said seemed because I didn't read it. My lawyer did and gave me a summary. I also heard from the grapevine, no, I don't ask people, they just tell me since they know he's stalking me, that the mother of his children moved and he didn't care and said it was for the best. This man doesn't even care about his kids and wants to play family with baby and me. Sadly, he won't be homeless or anything because mommy already let him move back in with her. So I doubt I'll learn anything from this. Not the flashiest of updates, but it is what it is. Oh, and my husband burnt or donated every single item given to him by my mom or my parents, with my dad's blessing. He says life is too short to give her space in his life, even with memories. Saying sadly he won't be homeless is an absolutely crazy line to read out loud. Additionally, like with a lot of Reddit stories, I do feel like a lot of this one is probably embellished. I think that there's definitely a foundation of truth for this one, but I do wonder where OP stretched and twisted things just a bit. That being said, yeah, crazy concept that if you keep trying to push your daughter to divorce her husband and get back with her high school boyfriend, that it's going to lead to potentially, if not actually, no contact. Crazy consequences there. Hell, the cherry on top is the whole wedding fiasco of them setting up the ex-high school boyfriend and her, and then setting her husband up with another girl under the guise that he's single. Ugh. What a fucking disaster. And it led to all of this mess. Good God. I am given the impression that there was a lot more going on between the father and mother in the background beyond just the Bates situation or the high school ex-boyfriend. But just, what a mess. I can't even imagine, like, as a 36-year-old showing up to, like, celebrate your mom's birthday and then seeing your ex-boyfriend from 18 years ago, his mother, his brother, your sister, and your mom all working together for a goddamn intervention. Ah, what a fucking nightmare. We've got ourselves r/best of r/OhNoConsequences crossover for you all. What a shocker. The original OP is Throw RA6351 IW526, and it was collected by Red Earaches. I read that backwards by accident. This best of was posted 5 years ago. I got pregnant at 16. My parents disowned me and tried taking custody of my daughter. After 10 years, my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and both want to reconnect with me and get to know their grandchild. I need help on how to handle this. I am very sorry if this is convoluted and riddled with grammar and spelling mistakes. At 16, I slept with my good friend Jared. The condom broke, and my daughter was created. My parents, who were great until this point, didn't like that and wanted me to get an abortion. I couldn't bring myself to. I wanted to keep the baby. Of course, my parents told me to pack my stuff and leave the house and their lives, so I did. I went to my friend's house and his parents took me in. They weren't thrilled, but they said we all had to help as a new family member was in the making. In that time, my friend and I started to develop feelings for each other. I had a daughter, and about 2 months later, Jared's brother came back in their lives. He was a recovering heroin addict. As we had the baby, my mother-in-law told him he could not stay with us. Eventually, they let him stay more, and he was spending nights until he had a relapse and stole a bunch of stuff. My parents got wind of that. They dug up a bunch of stuff and found out that my mother-in-law also fought addiction after an accident she had 15 years ago left her addicted to pain meds. So, they called CPS on us, and a whole-ass investigation was opened. It was a dark time. I thought they were going to take my baby. In the end, they didn't find anything substantial. But them calling the cops on me transformed into a tradition over the years. As it was a small town, every mistake I made got back to my parents. I was half an hour late to pick up due to my job, CPS charges because neglect. I was out after 10 p.m. with my toddler. This happened twice because we went to family gatherings. CPS. Christmas, loads of people stayed at Jared's house because it was a big family. CPS because many strange men were there. They eventually stopped it because they were fined for calling them on me unnecessarily. If they had done it more, I think it could have been an offense. The last call was 5 years ago. Eventually, Jared and I married when we were 23, and we were quite happy. We worked retail jobs and studied. It took us a bit longer than average to graduate, but we did, with a lot of help of his parents. Jared is now an engineer, and I work as a graphic designer. We were able to afford a big flat and finally moved out of his parents' house. Our lives look normal now. Anyway, a week ago I got a call from my mother who told me my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer and that his ultimate wish is to see me and my daughter again. I don't really know what to do because while they didn't have to take care of me while I was pregnant, I wish they had at least supported me. And while I get that they were panicking because they thought I was going to be an unfit mother, they made my life hell for 5 years. Update. Hey, it's me. I wanted to update you on what happened. Edit apparently have to make this clear. This is just an update post. I have taken my decision. My parents will not meet my daughter until she is older and wants to. After some thought, I decided to first meet my parents alone. I wanted to make a decision based on their remorse and development as human beings. And they sadly didn't really change. When I agreed to meet, I also told them it would be without my kid. I don't know why, but they thought they were going to meet her. They had bought presents and all. They were very disappointed, to say it lightly, when I showed up without her. They made no deal to hide it. But we talked. They failed to take any real responsibility for their actions. Every apology began with, "We're sorry if you..." When confronted about the CPS calls, they say they were doing what was best for daughter. I got really mad but tried not to snap. They brought up every mistake I did as a young mother and that they just thought I was far too young and irresponsible to have a kid. That daughter only turned up good because of luck. After they said that, I laid down money for my meal, stood up and said, "Well, nothing has changed. You are still the heartless persons that threw me out years ago and made my life hell for 5 years. You'll never meet her. She's happy, and she has loving grandparents." They started to freak out, saying that I couldn't withhold their grandchild from them. I just said that you lie in the bed you make. I left and haven't heard from them since. Mails or letters from them are thrown out on the spot. I'll eventually explain to my daughter what happened to me and my parents, and we'll give her the chance to meet them when she's older. But for now, I don't want to deal with their bullshit. Edit. Guys, thank you for your concerns, but I'm not US. Grandparent rights is not a thing where I come from. Edit 2. I think some of you are confused. I'm not asking about advice on whether or not I should give in to my parents' request. That's what my last post was about. It's not unwillingness to reflect, it's a set decision. Also, yes, my daughter is in therapy due to her being traumatized by all the lovely CPS visits that were caused by my parents. So I, in fact, know my child is happy and healthy mentally as well as physically. Oh no, consequences! You kick your daughter out, she raises her child, and any chance you get, you try to make her life a living hell, and she doesn't want you to see your granddaughter. Oh no, who could have thought that'd be the result? Uh-oh. Damn, not an ounce of self-reflection either to even think about, oh shit, hey, maybe we shouldn't have been too hard on the daughter that we kicked out and left her to fend for herself and scrutinized every move that she possibly made, and when everything turned out fine, well, it was just fucking luck, obviously. You're just incapable of being a good parent. You're too irresponsible. I mean, despite her being a stupid teen that made a mistake, things turned out well. She and her husband managed to actually put themselves together. They got jobs. They got their education. He's an engineer. She's a graphic designer. They live in their own place now. For being teen parents to actually being able to stand up on their own feet, they did wonderful for themselves, and the parents couldn't even fucking acknowledge that. Oh my god. Craziest thing is that with this being 5 years ago, the kid is now 15. I wonder how all that's been going.
Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code OZ at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.